Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept my love so young, so new, and time after time, you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you. Oh, good evening. I skipped so many chords in that. Let's try it. Let's try a little bit of that again, and then I'll say hello. Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept my love so young, so new, and time after time, you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you. All right, well, we tried a little bit of a falsetto there at the end, in between keys. Hey, Marnie Friedman, nice to see you. You're saying hi. Feldman sent you. All right, you get a pass if Feldman sent you. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Hey, David. Hey, Art in San Diego, nice to see you. Hey, Mobius. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Neurogeezer. Hey, Z, what's up? Nice to see you. Aloha. Hey, Kathy. Hello. Hello, everyone. Greetings, greetings. All right, I think that's everybody. What's cracking? All right. So, good evening. I'm back in Massachusetts after about a month in New York. And very nice to be here. So, amazing thing happened, which is that so we officially adopted the puppy today. The adoption is now complete. Her name, well, so the name is evolving. Her name is B for Brunhilde. Brunhilde. But Kirsten had this idea, which was really great, which is that there's also this abbess, like a monk woman, an abbess from she lived 1,000 years ago. She lived in the year 10 something. I think she lived a long life. From 10 something, I think, to 11, something like that. 90, yeah, in any case, her name was Hildegard von Bingen. Hildegard von Bingen. Look her up. She was a polymath. Yes, Hildegard von Bingen. She was a polymath. She wrote on many different subjects. She was a composer. She got in trouble for burying an I guess someone who had been excommunicated. So she decided to ignore the orders from the ecclesiastic superiors. Um, so a bit of a rebel, a spiritualist. I think she was. Oh, she wrote books. She wrote music. She was, an amazing. So anyway, Hildegard von Bingen. Oh, right, choral music. Thank you, Neurogeezer. Yeah. Oh, gardening and food stuff. Yeah, she was some sort of a genius from 1,000 years ago. So so the dog's name is Brunhilde, but Hilda is also like Hildegard von Bingen, and Hilda was also my paternal grandmother's name, and apparently she loved dogs, even though she didn't really want a dog in the house. So, um, but so she's sort of Hildy. Maybe we're calling her Hildy, or we're calling her B. But anyway, we're very happy. But here's the crazy thing. I then looked up because I remembered, and I confirmed that in fact May 10th, today's May 10th. Welcome to the nosho for May 10th, 2024. So I looked up, and in fact, Boo, our beloved and dearly departed Doberman Great Dane, who Hildy really reminds us of, same beautiful merle coat. So Boo passed away on May 10th, 2018. So 6 years ago to the day, we said goodbye to Boo. So, and then 6 years later to the day, we adopt the very booish bee. Hey, thanks, Donald. Thank you, Donald, for your support. Donald James is um, leading a charge to get people to hit the like button. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate it. Um, yes, the cycle of life. Um, yeah, what more can you say? To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn. Ecclesiastes? Yeah, that's funny. I said ecclesiastical earlier. Hello, Beatrice. Hello, Beatrice. Donald, please ask your question. Donald, I want to hear your question. Please, I'm all ears. I'm all eyes and ears. I only know what I know. The passing years will show. You've kept my love so young, so new. Those are the chords I was skipping. So new, so new, and time after time, you'll hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you. Kay Froast, does B sing with me yet? Not yet, but maybe she will. She does do some really nice woo woo woo. She says woo woo woo. Woo woo woo. Which interesting is in Italian, that's how you say www. Woo woo woo. So like when you're saying a URL in Italian, you'll say like www.google.com www.google.com www. So maybe she's a techie, this puppy. Woo. Okay, Donald asks, I still don't know where Darbo is. That is cryptic. And I'm intrigued. Darbo sounds like it would be a neighborhood in New York, like Dumbo or Soho, where it means, let's see, Darbo. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for ideas. Oh, thank you. I'm glad the falsetto was pleasing. Oh, Neurogeezer mentioning other songs in that vein. Oh, of the cycle of life. The Circle Game, Paul Simon's America, and American Tune. Oh my gosh, those are beautiful, beautiful songs. Yeah. Oh, okay. I wanted to say another thing. Um, Wait, before I do that, I wanted to just mention this. There's another song. So I know that the song that I just sang, Time After Time, if you look it up, if you Google Time After Time, you'll get the Cyndi Lauper song, which is a giant hit in about 1984. Same title, very different song. I don't know, maybe the lyrics are not dissimilar. But this is the song I know from Chet Baker, and now I don't have it in front of me who wrote it. I'm ashamed to say. Here, I'm gonna look it up. Who wrote Time After Time? Time After Time, Chet Baker. And you're standing here with someone new. Oh, Jesus, look at that. It's Sammy Kahn. I should have known that. We were looking at the Sammy Kahn songbook the other day. The songwriters are Jewel Stein and Sammy Kahn. Time After Time. Jewel Stein and Sammy Kahn. Time After Time. But the other Chet Baker song that this always makes me think of is this beautiful one. There Will Never Be Another You, which also I guess I was thinking of because of Boo. There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone new. There will be other songs to sing, another fall, another spring, but there will never be another you. I lost the key there. There will be other lips that I may kiss, but they won't thrill me like yours used to do. Yes, I may dream a million dreams, but how can they come true if there will never ever be another you? But how? Yes, I may dream. So, and then I'm going to look up who sang this one. Yes, I may dream a million dreams, but how can they come true if there will never ever be another you? Anyway, I'll learn to sing that one for real. That's a gore. Oh my God, what a beautiful song. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I'm going to look up who wrote this one. There will never ever be another you. Da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Harvey Warren. Music by Harry Warren. Lyrics by Mac Gordon. It was written for the 20th Century Fox musical Iceland. Iceland. Has anyone ever seen the musical Iceland? 20th Century Fox musical starring Sonja Henie and John Payne. Wow, we got to watch that movie, Iceland, 1942. There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone new. There will be many songs to sing, another fall, another spring, but there will never be another you. Have you ever sung in a musical before? Donald asks. Yes, I did sing in some musicals in college and then in like summer stock and that kind of thing. And then I transitioned into this quite a long opera singing, so a sojourn in the world of opera. That was a couple of decades long. I sang in operas all over the place in various settings and languages and stuff. So yeah, I have sung in musicals. I sang Judd in Oklahoma in the summer of 2000. That was a fun one. Oh, look at that. Sonia, the star of that Iceland, got very popular in Hollywood for a period of time, and she was a famous ice skater. Very cool. Wow, learning all sorts of good stuff from my well-informed audience. I love it. She got the gold in the Olympics. Oh man, I'm so glad you mentioned the Olympics. Um, Today I had a really fun gig. I recorded a poem for another episode of Revisionist History, the Malcolm Gladwell podcast. You gotta listen to this thing, Revisionist History. It's the podcast that is produced by, narrated by, and written by, I think mostly written by Malcolm Gladwell. And I've gotten to do some voices for it. My dad, who's in the audience, was on the show, also being interviewed earlier this season about a very kooky character. Um, Dad, if you're in the chat, remind me the name of that guy, please, who was the subject of the episode where you were interviewed. Anyway, so earlier this season, I got to be Bubbles, the chimpanzee, who was the pet of Michael Jackson. So I was Bubbles in the Bubbles episode of Revisionist History. But this episode, which I recorded today, there's a crazy poem. It's like an ode to sport, to like the god of athletics. It's okay. It doesn't matter if you remember. It's okay. Just look up, listen to the whole season of Revisionist History. It was great. Um, so this new episode, it has to do with some of the an early competitor in the Olympics, and then there was a guy who wrote a poem because there was like an arts competition as part of the Olympics in the beginning. I don't know if they still do that, but this was like the award-winning poem. It was a poem that won a big award at the Olympics about 100 years ago. And it's really over the top, and it was really a very fun, bizarre poem to read. And then the episode has to do with kind of tragic trajectory of this guy's life, a particular athlete who has some athletic tribulations and then other tribulations. And then, of course, the Olympics have their tribulations because the Olympics end up happening in 1936 in Berlin under Hitler, just 3 years after he took power. And so the whole Olympic ideal is, let's say, destroyed to some degree. Mobius, that's a great idea. Mobius says the dog's name is Bingen. We have Hildegard von Bingen. So there was an abbess and a dog, and Bingen was his name. Bingen. By the way, what was that beautiful song that I was looking at the other day? And I think You Are My Sunshine. That's what it is. You Are My Sunshine. I was singing it and working on it, and then I looked it up, and the guy who wrote it, turns out he was a real like racist governor from Louisiana. Same guy. Very bizarre. I think that when I sang it once or started to sing it, David, I think you commented something about that guy, and I thought I wasn't sure if you were being serious, but I looked it up, and in fact, um, this is a lesson in the fact that a beautiful piece of art isn't necessarily created by a beautiful person. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Yeah. So his name is Jimmy Davis. Jimmy Davis, and he was a segregationist. Yeah. No bueno. So I don't know. That song seems like a little bit tainted by that guy's politics. So verse 2. I'll always love you and make you happy. When I was a freshman in college, first semester of college, I took a course with a guy named Richard Hunt. Dick Hunt. Dick Hunt. Richard Hunt, who was, I think he became the provost or something. But when I was there, he was teaching a course in the core curriculum. It was called Art and Architecture in Weimar and Nazi Germany. That was the course. It was a history course. And this question came up. Can... David Feldman says, of Professor Richard Hunt, I knew his sister, Mike. Okay, very nice. I know the name. By the way, Richard Hunt, he was actually a really eminent scholar in that German history. But we looked at some art, like we looked at, I think we looked at that Leni Riefenstahl Olympiada. She did a movie about she did the Triumph of the Will, but she also did Olympia, where she shot, I think, was it that Olympics that she shot, the 36? In any case, that very famous, gorgeous black and white documentary film. She made several of them. They were gorgeous. And then the question is, can you still appreciate the aesthetics? Can you enjoy the films? Can you respect the films as groundbreaking artistic accomplishments, even though you know that her work became very important and very effective propaganda for an actual evil, murderous regime? Can you? I don't know. When I was 17 and I was taking that course, I was adamant about the fact that it was just an outrage. Even the discussion was offensive and horrible. How can you even show these films? That was my attitude. And then one time in class, that Professor Hunt, he held up a flag from like the Nuremberg party rallies, and he gave a big disclaimer beforehand. He said, "I'm not, I'm not proselytizing here, and I'm not supporting. This is not. I'm showing this as a relic, as a historical relic of a very evil." He kept using the analogy of oncology because his daughter was an oncologist. So he was talking about the fact that he studied this period like one would study cancer. It doesn't mean that you support cancer. You study cancer. You look at it very closely. On the other hand, you don't take a flag of cancer and wave it around in a lecture hall. So I really found that very disturbing and offensive, honestly, that he this giant banner. He because you also want to ask, why do you own that thing? Like, why do you own that object? It was bizarre. Um, whew. You can sleep while I drive. You can sleep while I drive. Oh, that sounds like a really nice title for a song. I don't know that song. Am I both siding? I don't know if I'm both siding. Because when I was 17, well, when I was 17, I was definitely one-siding it because I not only did I find it offensive that that professor held up that flag, I then actually wrote a letter to him in a very bizarre. I was overconfident. I think at that time in the semester, I had probably just turned 18 in that freshman fall, and I wrote him a letter saying it was outrageous that he would wave that flag. And he then had me into his office and he talked to me because he was concerned that I was so offended. Anyway, it was a whole thing. But now, yes, am I both siding it? I'm not both siding. I'm not saying that Leni Riefenstahl was doing good work for humanity. Um, but I am now open to the idea that there can be really good art created by really bad people. I'll leave it at that. I'll also say that it gives me a little bit of insight into what's going on campuses right now, because I remember that feeling, the that indignant, that burning outrage about someone offending my people. Someone offended my people, and I'm gonna. There's that intense identification at that age. I guess some people don't outgrow that, but you have that rah, 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 my team. How dare you say something or do something to offend my team? I'm going to stand up. It feels righteous and it feels powerful to express your outrage. But I don't have that anymore. I feel like we're all people, man. Even horrible Jimmy Davis wrote a really nice song. You told me once, dear, you told me once. You told me once, dear, You told me once, dear. I'm going to do it in the higher key. You told me once, dear, you really loved me, and no one else could be, and no one else could come between. But now you've left me, and love another. You have shattered all my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, don't take my sunshine away. Um, Tribal. Um, who's going to watch the ESC finale tomorrow? What's ESC, Beatrice? I'm curious. Um, that's right, Mila. That one of the benefactors of Clarence Thomas has a big Nazi memorabilia collection. Um, yes, art. I really don't go into politics much in this on my show because so many people are doing so many great shows on politics, including David Feldman and some other uh, broadcasters, podcasters that I really like. But in short, I would say, without getting into it in any depth, I I support people's right to protest as long as they're not, let's say, disrupting the operation of the campus. So there was a guy who did a really good op-ed in the Times last week about that, keeping it within the bounds of, let's say, civility, and being fair, so that, you know, there has to be a place, especially in a university, for everyone's voice to be heard. Neurogeezer says Wagner was an anti-Semite. Yes, but so was everyone else in the late 19th century in Europe, which actually is important context. It's not to excuse it, but it's to say he wasn't doing anything outstanding. He wasn't outstanding in his field in that regard. He wasn't getting a Pulitzer. It was run of the mill. But yes, it was more what happened to Wagner's music after the fact, the way it was used by the Nazis. That put the real stink on that music. Porterhouse. Look at the wax buildup on those shoes. I don't know what that means. It's a reference to something, sorry. Oh, Mobius says, guys, 5 coronal mass ejections headed our way starting tomorrow. Possible auroras in the northern climes. Oh yeah, Aurora Borealis. I was supposed to go outside and look at that. I took a peek earlier. It wasn't dark enough yet. Yes, Midas Touch, Kathy, is one of the ones I really like. Ben Meiselis. Yeah, I'm with you to some degree, Donald. Politics. This show is more of a, let's say, an island in the stream, a respite from the constant upset of politics, which is just the background thrum and hum of our time. I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me, just a little old me. All right, I'm not going to do that whole song. We've done it. The show. Oh, I wanted to say one other thing, because what came up was the Olympics and Olympiada, but what also came up was oncology through that Professor Hunt. But on the subject of oncology, I mentioned last night that one of my audience members here took offense at my joke, which I talked about last night on the show. I did a short video, and it was not a great joke, and it was offensive to this particular person. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? He's right. I understand it. And I ended up taking the joke down and sending him an apology, and he sent me a very gracious reply to my apology. So I was glad that a little bit of reconciliation, a little bit of peacemaking in a world of rancor. All right. So here's to an end to rancor, or at least a lessening of rancor. I'm going to keep pronouncing it rancor instead of rancor. Rancor? I'm not going to rancor. I don't run a beauty pageant. I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair always. That's when I'll be there always. The record skipped there. Not just for an hour, not just for a day, not just for a year, but always, always, always. I'll always, oh, well, always is a long time, but you know what that song means? Always. It means that the show is coming to an end. I'm here every night at 9, always. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your eyes and your ears. Oh, Z, that's funny. Z in Hawaii says hallways. Yes, so this could be a theme song for a company. It could be a jingle for a company that renovates hallways. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow night. Gonna go look now, look up at the sky and see if I see anything. Bye. Bye, Donald. Bye, Neurogeezer. Bye, Beatrice. Bye, Z. Bye, David. Bye, Mobius. Bye, Dad. Bye, Mom. By Art. Who did I miss? Whom did I miss? Hey, Snicks. How you doing? Hey, Mila. Hey, Kathy. All right, y'all. If I missed anyone, pardon me. All right, sleep well. Bye.